This is Luxe and Lens. For the single moms choosing growth over guilt, power over pain, and purpose over pressure. Raw conversations, real stories, no filters. Let's begin. Welcome back. You are here with Courtney and myself. This is Luxe and Lens, and this is a channel where we are here to help, to support, to dive into all sorts of issues that affect us as single moms. Both Courtney and myself are single moms, and we are doing this entire podcast for you. We are live every Sunday with the podcast at 7 o'clock, and if you would like to see what we get up to, we are on YouTube every Wednesday evening, where you can actually see what we're doing. We might even have a couple of demonstrations and such there. So yes, definitely YouTube on a Wednesday evening, 7 o'clock, podcast on a Sunday evening, 7 o'clock, and welcome back. We are now in the second episode of our self-care series, and here we're going to be looking at, well, for this episode, we're going to be looking at softness as rebellion. So being able to take that time out for yourself. We've had a little bit of pre-chat, and we've got some interesting stuff to talk to you about. Some very practical do not disturb signs that we can use. And yes, just being able to put the guilt aside for the self. Courtney, hello, how are you?
Hello, good on you.
I am good, thank you. Welcome back. Another exciting one, as per usual.
Yeah.
Yes. So, softness as a rebellion. I do believe that we push ourselves too hard. And I think I did allude to it in the last episode, where we are going into autumn. April is autumn, or the start of autumn.
Yes.
And it is the perfect time to kind of get cozy, to start that self-reflection, to start being softer with ourselves. The world is starting to take a rest, or the planet is starting to take a rest with autumn and the leaves dropping and such. So we can give ourselves the same permission. If it's good enough for a tree, it's good enough for me. So I can, take that softness, learn that skill, put my feet up on the couch in the sun because it's going to start getting chilly, and read a book. SPCA, these secondhand bookshops, I picked up 3 books for 15 Rand the other day. I mean, come on.
Oh,
So,
wow.
I know, I'm so excited. So yes, and I remember going to the library and such with my mom, and you just sometimes, if you read a book, you don't want it to teach you anything. You just want that little bit of release, just to
I
get
know.
out.
I love reading. I absolutely love reading.
Well, what I did is I used to go and choose the curly writing books. I mean, they were
Oh,
like Hallmark Channel in reading form. It was so
yeah.
predictable. It was always the same kind of vibe, maybe a couple of
Like
different
Mills,
actors.
what was it? Mills and Boone. Oh my gosh, those
Yeah.
books.
No, yes, Mills and Boon, but this is the PG version. But it was like the curly writing books, and I knew that they would be. It is literally Hallmark Christmas movies in literature form.
Oh, yes,
So
yes, yes.
they are absolute rubbish, but just that lovely kind of escape into an Irish countryside, or the English countryside, or New York, and then they'd have to go off to some little remote village. Very, very Hallmark, very Hallmark,
Yeah.
but just lovely. So yes, I managed to do that. So maybe that's something you can do. And the best part is we've got the SPCA and stuff right here, so we can walk up. So I can walk
Oh,
up, which is great for me. We can get cheap books and put our feet up in the sun. Win,
lovely.
win, win.
Absolutely.
So, Courts, what is your understanding and such of, like, softening your life, or just stepping into something that does quieten you down, gives you that gentle care, like puts, I guess, puts its arm around you and says, "Come on, we can do this."
Yeah, I think my personality, I'm very ambitious and very hard on myself. So my goals are big.
Mm.
And so naturally, I'm quite a highly strung person. I like things to be very orderly and on the go and structured. And so I think it's that's why it is so crucial and important for me to be able to tap into that softness, to say, you know what, you actually need space to breathe, catch your breath, enjoy the moment, be present as opposed to 20 steps ahead.
Yes.
And I think that again goes back to our previous series in being in your masculine, because that is a masculine characteristic of always looking 20 steps ahead for the danger, you know. But yeah, I think for me, what I love to do is every single morning, without fail, I sit on this here very veranda and I watch the sunrise with my cup of coffee. And I have my cell phone, but I'm not on it at that time, and except to film it, because it's just so breathtaking. It's like my favorite thing. Every single day, I just watch the sun come up, and it just makes me also do a bit of introspection on gratitude.
Yes.
Because myself, like, I often will get caught up in the day to day and the pressures and the responsibility that sometimes I forget to be grateful for the things that are in my life, and like the sunrise. And I think that for me, that's the reminder is, yes, yesterday might have been tough. It had its obstacles. We know that today is going to have its obstacles, but how magnificent is this view? And how lucky are you to be able to sit here with this hot cup of coffee, with the birds chirping in the background, and see this magnificent masterpiece in real life. Like, it's you, a painting couldn't be better.
And it
You
comes
know,
to life in front of your eyes. That's what I love about a sunrise. It's like all the
and when the
detail just
birds
starts
fly
to
through and the wind blows and the clouds move, and it's just like, wow, wow. You know, I mean, once or twice I've actually got like a bit teary just in how absolutely stunning it is. You know, and I'll just be like, wow, yay, look at this.
And what time do you wake up that you can watch the sunrise?
Ash, I don't even want to tell you. I went through a period where I didn't have a helper, and I literally had to wake up at between 4 and 4:30 to get washing in, that it would then be done by the time I have to leave home at 6 to get the kids to school, because I start work at 7. So I would have to get the washing in. I tried to do washing the night before, but then in the morning it was already smelling like a bit.
Yes.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It's just like, no, I can't do this. I'm not lucky enough to have a tumble dryer. So, or rich enough to pay for the electricity of a tumble dryer.
Just there we go. And load shedding, hello.
Exactly. So I started then just waking up like between 4 and 4:30 to get the washing in, pack the school lunches, get breakfast ready. And then I would come out and sit and watch the sunrise. Then I would go hang the washing, wake up the kids, get everything going for the day. But now it's kind of like a habit, in that, like, if I wake up too late, that I missed the sunrise, I'm really upset.
Does it affect your day?
It does. You know, I think because I appreciate the beauty of nature so much, when I don't have that fix, I feel very, not down, but I don't feel as like uplifted as when I've had that quiet time to sit and appreciate the beauty of nature, you know, and of course a magnificent cup of coffee.
Oh, absolutely.
Coffee is always a win.
Do you do journaling in that time ever?
No. So I think I did mention in our intro podcast is that I'm more of a introspective journaler. So I don't like to journal day to day. I also don't like to wallow. So like when something's happened today that's not going to be very detrimental to my life overall, I don't write it down. I don't try and dissect it. It was a situation. It was a little speed hump in my life, but it's going to be gone tomorrow. I don't put any emphasis on it. Okay. But where there's an occasion that I feel like, for lack of a better expression, I'm going to say shook, then I will do an introspective journaling, where then I break it down and I say, why am I feeling like this? Why has this triggered me? What in me needs work, that if this ever happens again, I'm not feeling like this, or that I don't experience it in the same way, because it felt detrimental to me. Okay. And then sometimes I'll journal like where I'll say, you know, especially if I'm feeling like doomy and gloomy, like, oh, woe is me, my life, oh, my word, then I'll be like, Courtney, can you get a grip on life, girl? And actually see all the amazing things that you have. Like, please grab your pen and paper and like, let's get ready to jot because you being ungrateful. You're acting like a brat. Can we pull ourselves towards ourselves?
Yeah,
You know,
that's kind of what I'm asking. So do you ever take those mornings to journal to say, I'm feeling, I love this word, discombobulated? I mean, it is such, it's like a Mary Poppins word to me, discombobulated.
yeah,
But, you know, if you do have those, then to be able to sit, and I know that scientifically it is proven that as soon as we put pen to paper,
yeah,
not,
yeah,
not a
yeah,
keyboard or anything, but that has some sort of chemical reaction within our minds. But to sit
absolutely,
there in the morning and say, I am feeling like this, uh, look at this view, how can I feel X, Y, and Z when
yeah,
this is what's in front of me? So therefore, I can now invest my energy in having a better day. Or do you more
exactly.
your introspective journaling? Does it happen more after a day to say this triggered me and such? Do you know what
So
I'm
I
saying?
normally do my journaling in the evening,
Okay.
or on the weekend. So in the
Yes.
mornings, I just feel like this is my time to switch off and just to appreciate the view and appreciate the quietness and the birds. And I don't really like to do too much writing. I also feel that once I get stuck in, then sometimes I lose track of time. Um,
Yes.
Obviously, I've got to still get kids up. I've still got to get them dressed, get everything going, and I've got to be out of here like a shot at 6 sharp. So,
Yes.
um, so I don't really like to journal in the morning, but also just to reel back to what you said there is that when you write something down, it does trigger a chemical reaction in the brain and makes it real life.
Mm.
It's no longer just something floating in your mind. And I think that's why it's also so important to make sure when you are journaling that it's not always negative,
Yes.
because you will suddenly feel like you become depressed about everything in your life because you keep just writing down the little icks and the little irks and the little this one did that and that one did this, and then before you know it, you're a person that's become like all consumed by victim mentality where woe is me in my life, when actually take a little chill pill, sit down and actually realize how much is going right in your life.
Mm.
So I think that's one of the things that I don't really enjoy about journaling, or how people are taught to journal, is people are taught to write down your problems.
Yes.
And I think as you emphasize your problems and you give them power, they grow. Anything that you pay enough attention to grows. And so it's very important to make sure that you're focusing more on positive than negative aspects of your life. You know, when you go over a speed bump that feels like it just wrecked your wheel bearings, you're not now going to go and now you 26 kilometers down the road and now you're still thinking about that speed bump. No, you forget about the speed bump and you carry on, the car's moving, and you forget about that speed bump.
Yeah,
But
you
in
haven't left the
life,
wheels behind.
exactly, the wheels are still intact. And I think that's what you focus on is you're always going to have the speed bumps. There's always going to be little irks and icks and dramas that you need to actually, and I love the saying, pick your battles,
Yes.
but don't let them become these huge Mount Everests when they actually are irrelevant in the greater scheme of things.
Mm.
It's not going to be that bad.
Yeah.
But
I said,
like I
let's
said,
not live
more
there.
you emphasize, the
Mm.
more you emphasize, the more you focus on it, the more energy you give it, the bigger it grows.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. My whole thing
Yeah.
is I don't live there. Yes, I acknowledge, but I don't
Yeah.
live there. I do not.
But I won't write it out.
Mm.
If it's not big enough and it can't affect my life enough, I don't even write it out. I let it pass through. I say, okay, that was irritating. My wheels are still there. It's all good. Let's move forward.
But I think what I love, what I remember you saying as well, and what I loved about it is that when you journaled, you didn't only dissect the problem, you came up with
Mm,
solutions. And I think
yes.
that's a big one. So if you are going to journal about your issues or your problems, then do it as a solution base rather than a wallow base and a
Yes.
live there base. So yes,
Absolutely.
find out ways, because I love that where you said you would come up
Yeah.
with like you were healing your inner child and that helped you step forward.
Yes.
That
Yes.
I like that. That to me makes sense in journaling, because you're right. You know, a lot of people
Yeah.
are taught to write their problems down, and I can understand the reasoning and the logic behind that, because if you think about it, I remember doing this so clearly at school where I would sit with a math problem, and as soon as I got up to go to the teacher and as soon as I spoke it through, it made sense. So
Yes.
that art of journaling where you do write down the issue, it does help you to make sense. I think it's because it focuses one point at a time. I always think of it as a tornado, and you've got all
Yes.
these thoughts, and as soon as you bring them out of that cone,
Mm.
or the bottom of the cone, and you write down, you're focusing on one aspect at a time, and that does help you to solve the problem. So make sure it is solution based.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what I also love about introspective journaling is, especially if it's been a situation that involves other people, to always also look at how you could have been perceived in that situation.
Yes.
Because I think so often we don't look at how we kind of played a role in that situation. We'll only look at how we felt and not how we might have made other people feel, or how we might have exaggerated the situation or created it, or like caused it to become a far bigger issue than it should have been. But I think that boils down to, again, my love of personal growth is that every day you want to become that better version of yourself. And you can only do that through, excuse me, through like really knowing yourself and how you are triggered and what your responses or reactions are to those triggers.
Yes.
And then also being very aware of how you make other people feel in your space.
Yes. Yeah. I think it's also trying to understand where that person is coming from. You know, if you do know
Yes.
a person well enough, understanding their
Yes.
personality, and like we touched on last time, understanding their love language. If you know how a
Absolutely.
person will react to something, then if you, and unfortunately as women, we can use this to manipulate. We know what is going to trigger, so we do it.
Yes.
Just, it
Yeah.
might be out of spite, it might be out of frustration, but
Yeah.
and I know I'm guilty of this. I will. If I know somebody
Yeah.
well enough and I know what's going to irk them, I will do it. Just
Yeah.
to, you know, for whatever reason. Yes, I feel bad about it afterwards, but it's sometimes we just have to be nasty.
It's also sometimes a defense mechanism because you feel vulnerable, or you you personally feel attacked, and so your go-to is to try and attack back. Um, and sometimes it's not even a conscious decision at the time. It's literally that trigger reaction where you just instantly like, oh my gosh, you nabbed me and I'm going to nab you back. And I think I used to be like that. Now I think I do it more very unintentionally. If I do it, it's very unintentional. Just because I feel I'm in the space in my life now where if we don't fit together anymore as friends or in business or in a relationship, I'm not forcing it. I'm not going to do a act in any way to try and manipulate you to stay in my space. Or to have any control over you or your decisions or your mood or your reactions. If we're not amalgamating naturally, and I have to try and force something through getting trigger reactions out of you, then we're not meant to be in this space, whether that's business partnerships, friends, or relationships.
Yes.
I'm so past that stage of trying to force things or to prove myself or to prove my worth. Like if you don't see it, if we're not naturally mixing, then it's a no.
Yeah.
And I'm happy with that and I move on.
And thank you for the season that you were in my life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, that was a little dirt road, as we love
dirt road.
We do. We definitely do. Go and see the scenery. All right. So now that is, you know, taking the time in the morning, because a lot of us don't have that 20 minutes in the morning, and we are definitely not disciplined enough to get up at 4:30. So I salute you on that. I really do. But I also do.
I don't have to get up at 4:30 anymore.
Yeah, but now you're going to miss the sunset. I mean, rise.
No. Now it's getting up a little bit later, so I'm lucky.
Yes, winter does have its benefits. But I do think that it is important for us to take time during the day that we can just be with ourselves. I did mention the do not disturb. So one of the things was, and Courtney and I did chat about this, where you take earphones or your earbuds and you pop earpods, earbuds, iPods, whatever you have, pop those in, and that seems to be a lovely signal to people that I am busy, leave me alone. Even if you've got nothing playing, it's okay. It just signals to other people, leave me alone, I'm taking some time, I'm busy. And that busy could just be the fact that you are nurturing you. Yeah, so I know that you said you do this.
Yes, yeah. So I obviously in gym, I always wear my AirPods and do my workout. And then also when I do my weekly shop, I actually put my AirPods in and I just listen to music while I shop. And I find that it does kind of give that signal to people that I'm not there to chit chat or engage in any way. Because as I mentioned, like we'll naturally always make eye contact with people, and then some people feel that they can then come and engage, but it's almost a little bit of a therapeutic session for me as well, and that I just listen to music that I really enjoy. I focus on getting the groceries for the week, and it's a switch off, and I'm not there to interact with people or to make new connections or whatever. I'm literally there to do my weekly shop.
Yes, yeah. And I think it also then gives you the opportunity to be able to focus on what it is you're doing. And like you said, be present, be in the moment, so
Yes.
that you do get the right macaroni and cheese or the correct, because children can be picky, but you do
Oh,
get the
yes.
right ingredients and such, and you don't then forget that, oh, bother, it's lunches tomorrow and I've forgotten to buy bread.
Or the breakfast biscuits.
Yes. So yeah, I do think that being able to put those earpods in and such, don't see it as being selfish. Don't see it as
Yeah.
being, you know. And what about chords? I have now trained myself, and I'm starting to train people, clients or potential clients. Sunday is my day off. Sunday
Yes.
is the one day that I take to myself with my family or with my boys, even if they're doing their own thing. Sunday is my day to recharge, regroup. If I feel like editing on that day, I will. But it is definitely one day that I put aside that is mine. So, what
Yeah.
generally the phone is left next to my bed on charge. And I will check it sporadically or whatever through the day, but Sunday is my day. Are you
Yes.
able to do this? Do you do this?
I would like to. At this point, I think I have mentioned before that generally I don't have my kids on weekends. And so I find it's still so foreign to me, even like 2 years down the line, to not have them in my space and then to not have anyone with me on the weekends. So I kind of do hold on to my phone for like personal connection, with the
Oh,
outside world. But at the same time, I do really, and it is on my to-do list to try and do is to have some downtime from the cell phone and being instantly reachable to the outside world. Um, so, because also I'm a yes girl. So if I see a message pop up, I'm going to respond.
mm.
I can't just be like, you know what, I'm taking 2 hours to myself and I'm going to actually just leave the phone. I will be like, oh, there's a message. Yay. Let me just, shit, I can just reply quickly, emojis and then, but then I just never switch off or actually have that boundary of I'm actually having some personal space and I will respond when I'm physically, mentally, emotionally present to respond. I just respond.
Mm.
Yay. So I am wanting to practice that a little bit more of setting the boundaries of this is actually my time where I'm not going to touch my cell phone from Friday when I get home from work till Saturday morning, for example. I cannot do that. I will have my phone next to me most of the time. Every now and again, it will be, if I'm busy with something. But if I'm not busy with something, I find I've always got the phone, which I feel is a distraction in many ways, because you also find yourself mindlessly scrolling through rubbish. And
Yes,
you're like, oh my goodness. By the end of it, sometimes I'll be like, oh my word, I just spent an hour killing brain cells.
exactly.
It's like Like mindlessly scrolling through some things, you're like, oh my word, that I just watched like 20 seconds of absolute crap.
Yes,
um
with no outcome at the end.
yes, and then you even like rewatch it sometimes thinking, what was the point? Like, I don't get it.
So we'll spend the extra time learning a
Exactly.
thing.
Like improving their algorithm for the crap that they just posted. Oh my gosh. But
Oh,
anyways, so
yeah.
yeah, but I think that is definitely something on my self-care to-do list, is to set the boundaries, to have downtime from the phone. And I think it's also such an important thing to teach kids, is that you're not supposed to have it with you all the time. You're
Mm.
not supposed to be present for people at the click of a button. They can wait. Like, remember back in our day, like, remember when friends used to have to call on the telephone,
Yes,
hello, Mr. McAllister, please can I speak to Courtney?
yes,
No, she's doing homework. You can phone tonight at 6:30 or
exactly.
whatever. Now it's like instant, like bypass the parents, and you
Yeah.
just have instant connection to anyone at any time, anywhere in the world.
Mm. I think for you it's a little bit different because your children are away. So if there is an emergency or they need to get hold of you, I can
Yeah.
understand that idea. What I have actually done is I will literally switch my phone off. So I've created
Mm,
an extra barrier to being able to just pick it up and flick it open. So I create that
yeah,
extra barrier. Now it's, do I really want to have to sit here for the extra 3 minutes, whatever, and turn this thing on? No, I don't. And my hands are dirty, and I've been in the garden, so I don't. So
yeah,
if for example you are, or I'll turn the Wi-Fi section off. But again, that's easy to just switch it on and turn the Wi-Fi back on. But I also find
yeah,
that if the phone is off and it's that side of the house and I'm this side of
yeah,
the house, that does create barriers to entry. So
absolutely.
that's definitely trained my brain to leave it for a couple
Yeah.
of hours. Okay, and then what about, let's talk a little bit, because we're running out of time here, a little bit of like sensory self-care. And with
Mm,
regards to sensory, creating the cozy colors in our bedroom, or scents, using room sprays, scented candles, music.
yes,
I love
yes.
my classical music and that soft, gentle music to try and calm the noise here. What do you have? I know that you definitely are a smells girl. You love the
Yes.
candles. And then also, what about the other sensories, like luxury textures and such?
Yeah, so I'm definitely, yeah, like you said, I love scented candles. They're all over my house. And it was so funny because growing up, I used to hate if I got a candle for a present. I was like, who gives people a candle?
It's
And
not putting it
now,
on.
if someone brings me a scented candle, I'm like, ah, yay, oh my gosh. Because I just am obsessed with scented candles.
Yeah,
But I
likewise.
also, I love, like, I don't know, I think I've told you before, but I've got those wine bottles that have the fairy lights in them, and I
Yes.
love to have that around. So it's like that cute little soft light vibe. And then I've got the reed diffusers around my house. So just
Mm-hmm.
like beautiful smells are something that really make me feel cozy and amazing. And
Luxury. To me, it's a luxury thing as well.
no,
It just,
absolutely.
oh,
And then, like I said in, I think, the previous series, or no, previous episode, is I love to do full body exfoliations. That for me is a big self care thing. So I try and do that once a week. Obviously, I do skincare. So once a week, I also do like a full facial for myself, and then um, putting cream on my body, looking after my feet, like my having my nails done and my toes, and just general body care
mm,
is really something that is important to me, and
okay.
obviously very sensory as well.
Yes, very, very much so. Yes, so,
Yeah.
I think that's one of the important things to kind of state here, that self-care doesn't necessarily have to be the traditional self-care kind of vibes. It can be
Mm.
putting those reed diffusers, scented candles,
Yes.
room sprays and such in those particular rooms, that when you walk in there, for example, my bedroom, I like the very soft floral smells. In the
Yes.
study, I prefer the stronger smells that will now invigorate the mind. So
Yeah.
being what's the word? I should have my scented candle on now. Hey, but just being intentional about what you know, make the room feel the way you want to feel when you walk into that space. But anyway, the self-care is definitely not just the bubble bath.
But you know, it's even like your sheets, like to get yourself a nice
Yes,
sheet that feels amazing. Like I love to climb into bed, and you know, when you rub your feet on the sheets and into, like, as you climb
yes,
into bed, and you can just feel your little toes between the
yes,
sheet and the blankie, you know. Like I love that. That's my favorite. Like I can't wear socks at night because I love to feel the sheet and the blanket on my feet and
yes,
on my toes,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. I got the
And to have
same
a
pillowcase.
beautiful sheet, yes, and
Mm,
to have beautiful bedding that makes you feel cozy and comfortable is like that for me is amazing.
mm. Yeah. Okay, everybody. Well, thank you so much. Please remember, live on a Sunday evening for the podcast at 7 o'clock. Live on a Wednesday evening on YouTube at 7 o'clock. Courtney, thank you. We will see you again
Thank you.
next week. It's
Always
been
lovely.
lovely. It's exactly. Yeah. So thank you so much, everybody, and we will see you again next week.
Yes, see you next week. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for spending this time with us. Follow, subscribe, and share Luxe Lens with the woman who needs it. We're rising together. We'll see you next week. Bye.